Welcome to an exciting week in the Caravan Renovation series. This episode is going to be action packed. We have framing, insulating, sealing under the caravan, and a little bit of cleaning. I feel like I'm a little bit behind schedule, so without further ado, let's get cracking. Time for the insulation to come out, and then time for it to go back in. Let me give you a quick update of where I'm at. I briefly just mentioned it, but I feel that I'm a bit behind schedule. I want to get the framing, insulating and wood sheeting done over the next 2 weeks, but I'm also away on a mini holiday between those 2 weeks for 3 days. I want to also be realistic, so realistically, I think over the next 3 weeks, I'll get those 3 objectives complete. This puts me a week behind schedule, which is okay, and hopefully I can pick up that time moving forward. That was tough. Alrighty, insulation is going in, at least in this section. Like this, for the insulation. One part of the insulation done. This is me just giving a clean to the boot of my Caravan. Much like a Ferrari and Lamborghini where the boot's at the front, my boot's at the front of the Caravan. Just a bit of class, you know? Classic. Looking way cleaner. So the other day, cleared these panels and put these insulation boards in, but there was an issue. I sprayed the insulation boards and this area with spray adhesive and glue, and that didn't work. Didn't take whatsoever. So I had to come to a different decision. I done a test piece, which is here, with some Evo stick, which is the glue adhesive we've been using for the wood on wood and the wood on the aluminium. So I've done this here and I've put a bit of a support against it / bracing against it to make it sort of stick firmer. So I'm going to take that away. I'm going to see how I can pull this off and see what it's like. And if this works, then what I'm going to do is put the Evo stick adhesive on the rest of the insulation and put the insulation on that way. Alrighty. I didn't break the piece, which is fine. It's been about 36 hours and it's still setting, so it did take a while to come off, but it was on there strong, which is a good indicator that this should work. And what I'm going to do is, because the test piece worked like that, I'm going to do that now for here and the other side. Let's go. Got a lot of stuff pushing up against that. I think it should be fine. Like I said, I'm gonna leave that for about 24 to 48 hours and come back. And then I'll have to do that with every single piece along. So it could be a bit of a waiting game when I do it, but I can still do other things along the way. So insulation, come back. More insulation, come back. That's the process. So, and then it's gonna give some more structure and strength to the wall, like I keep saying. All right, what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to staple the underside of the Caravan, the aluminium, and I staple it to the floor underneath, and then seal it as well at the same time. Let me show you what I mean. So if you can see here, all of this section, I've done a tester just there with a staple from my staple gun, and it worked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put sealant in behind this and staple it all back to the floor, the whole way around the Caravan. Been propped up for 24 hours. I'm going to take some of the props away and I'm going to install on this side. Alrighty, that's now in. And this is also sort of keeping that pushed up and pressurized, even though that should be fine. So, second piece in, progress being made. This part of the Caravan seemed way more trickier than it actually was. We needed to get the fiberglass shell into the floor and line it up. And in the end, we screwed up through the fiberglass, which we didn't want to do because we didn't want to crack it. We did that, didn't crack, and we screwed it to the floor. And then that gave us the ability and the support to screw in from the J-mold through the aluminium, through the fiberglass, and into the wood frame that was there at the side/back of the Caravan corner. All right, Sam. Good. I cut something. Alright guys, here we go. We got some framing here, all the way down here, all the way across, and all the way back up. You would have seen me clear this out. So that's the whole back area done. Alright, then we've got the framing for here. So that will go up there. We just have to get a piece of timber across the top part of that there, over to around there. More framing is done here. So you've got the window framed out. Just need to do that bit and do that bottom bit there, and then that's the framing for the window done. We're about 80% done with the framing. Wheel arch up here, along there. Install that. Do above and below the window. Then we've got insulation in there and in there. Insulation in there. So we're getting along, we're going good. The expenses for this week's episode are as follows. Insulation, €122.79. I didn't realise how expensive insulation is. That's crazy. Timber, €43.04. And then we got glue/adhesive, €38.99. All up, that comes to €204.82 for the week. The grand total so far for everything is €2,453.80. That's a wrap on episode 6. There were multiple jobs getting done over the course of this week, and while I was doing those jobs, I discovered something really, really cool. But you'll have to tune in next week to find out what it is. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and as always, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.